Gimble, come feel there. Rock a bandana like Tupac, I've been there. Rock a do-rag or wave cab, I lay my shit.
What's going on, Gooners and Goonerettes? Shout out to all of you lot. Hope you're having a wonderful day. But enjoy the sunshine, guys, because I think it's probably the last day we're going to get where it's around 24, 25. But love to all of you guys, as always. Let's talk some Arsenal. Not so much transfers, but I like to shout it out anyway. Transfers! Okay, guys, let's go, man. Now, Sambi Lokonga, a lot of talk about him now going to Brighton. So I know Burnley are still interested in him. Brighton now are looking to make a state plate of the player. And look, I think that would be a great place for him to go to. They play fantastic football. De Zerbi there knows exactly what he's doing. It's the right type of football for him in order to pick up. And it would be nice for them to also try and smooth him into that role that Casado has left open. I know they already have a replacement for everybody who leaves. You think about the 6 or 7 quality players that have left there over the years, and they've just got an answer for everything, and they're still being able to provide. How they do it, I don't know. Leicester used to do that, but the problem with that is if you keep on selling players, at some point, your bubble bursts. And we've seen that happen with Leicester. We've seen it happen with Southampton before that, you know, with the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal just ripping them of all of their academy players. So it's not sustainable, but yet they're still doing a job. So you've got to credit Brighton for that. But I think it would be a great place for Sambi Lokonga to go to. But on the flip side of that, guys, we're also hearing now that Chelsea's meeting with Balogun, there's been some kind of terms agreed between them and the agent. Now, that doesn't mean anything to us because it's got to come through to Arsenal and it's got to come through to Chelsea, and that would be on the price. But I would think it doesn't really matter personal terms what you agree with the player. It matters if Chelsea are going to cough up 50 to 70 million for the player, and so far Chelsea have not made a bid. Someone who did make a bid, which was rejected, was Monaco. And Monaco now, they're coming back to the table. And it's been well known that if the bid is around 50 million, then Arsenal would bite on that. And I think that would be a great deal because, look, guys, I've said it for many weeks, he's just not going to play. Why? Because he's not proven to be as good as any of the players that we have now. He's not better than Nketiah. His defensive side is definitely not better than Nketiah. Eddie has scored now 32 goals in 48 starts. So as far as Nketiah goes, he's proven. He was man of the match the other day, in my opinion, and a lot of others, as well as some people going for Declan Rice, including Sky Sports. But Eddie plays a big part in this team, not just as a goal scorer, but as a link player, as someone defensively who presses the hell out of defenders and goalkeepers. He's important to what we do. And Balogun, as much as we love him, guys, he's just an unknown commodity in the Premier League. We saw him play against Brentford, and it just looked out of his depth before. Yes, he's improved a lot more since then, but I'm just saying that the signs of him in the Premier League is a different league, guys. As much as what you do, you know, Lacazette scored all them goals, scored more goals and more assists than Balogun in the French league, but in the Premier League, you just couldn't cut it. It's just a different league over here, guys. It's fast-paced. You don't get any time on the ball. You have to be a facilitator. You got to be a part of a front three, not a lone striker. And I think that Balogun just doesn't fit the bill. And look, who knows? Balogun could have come in and proved himself. He could have. But unfortunately, he didn't. I don't think he had a great preseason. He had the missed chances. He had the injury. And by all accounts, guys, it's not a good preseason that Balogun had. It's not what he wanted to do. In regards to when you look back at other pre-seasons where Eddie's been our top scorer in pre-seasons, Smith Rowe before that was lighting it up. You know, that's the kind of pre-seasons that you're looking to have from guys who are trying to break through into the first 11. And has Balogun done enough to break into the first 11? Nowhere near that, guys. So you got money sitting in there on the shelf with him, 50 million, get the money and reinvest it. Reinvestment, I hear you guys say, we're talking about now, who would you go for? Look, I made my thoughts known on the Urian Timber situation, and you know, he's going to be out from 6 to 7 months, so we're not going to see him until next year, possibly February, March at the earliest. And one has to understand that You've had Zinchenko in that realm. You've got a fit Tomiyasu now. Tomiyasu, I know you lot are jumping on his back, but he just needs a couple of games. That's all. That's all. He hasn't played a lot of football for a while, and so far we've seen him just been not at the races. The red card, which I don't think was a red card. There's no way, and then anyone can convince me that that was a red card. Maybe on the first one where he took too long, you got to know that refs are pressing down on that, so you got to wear that, take it on the chin. But the second yellow card, there's no way. VAR should have stepped in and dealt with that, because those things mean a lot. They make a difference. And and I hear some of you guys are saying that means VAR should be involved in everything. Well, you got the technology there, so do it. And let's be honest, it shouldn't take that long, because remember, it's not so much the referee, it's the guys in the studio that are looking at it. They're seeing what me and you are seeing on the replays. And if they can see there was no contact, they are in contact with the referee via mic. They should say to him, I think you need to take a look at this because there was no contact there. Referee would then go, okay, I'm going to go to the screen and take a look at it and then make his own decision. So, yeah, look, the other thing about it is, should we spend money? Well, we know Cancelo is supposed to be going to Barcelona. That's his preferred destination. But he would love to play with Mikel Arteta again, I think Cancelo would be a fantastic buy. And it would also mean that you can get rid of Tomiyasu. It means you could sell Tomiyasu. So I think there's options there that they can definitely go for. But that's honestly what I would do. On the flip side of that, guys, let's have the Pepe conversation. Because you guys have been sidestepping this Pepe conversation for a while, man. And we've been talking about it for the guy scored 16 goals in his first Arsenal season. Now, let me remind you that Saka's never scored 16 goals as an Arsenal player. And neither has Martinelli. So you're talking about a guy here who's a bigger goal threat than the guys that we currently have now. That's factual. This isn't anybody making any stuff up. This is factual. He's a bigger goal threat than the two guys that we have here now. Not just that, but in 68 starts for Arsenal. 68 starts. Remember, we're not talking about coming off the bench. In 68 starts for Arsenal, he had a hand in 48 goals and assists. Let that sink in. And you guys have always avoided that. I love the way how you're like, yeah, Pepe, nah, he ain't Arsenal. He ain't Arsenal quality. He's Arsenal quality. The only thing that I would say is Arteta had time to look at him in the system and felt that defensively he wasn't doing enough. And that he just didn't get the pressing, he just didn't get the backtracking to support the right back, which was then Maitland-Niles. And so I get it, guys. But we're talking about someone who's coming on in relief for Saka. We're not talking about someone who's going to start. We're talking about a squad player. So the message on Pepe from Instagram today is that he's returned to the club. So I hope that they sort something out, because let him play out his last year. You're paying him anyway. And all you're going to do is lose money on him. Just bring him in as another attacking player, and then you can utilize him as a squad player. That's all you need to do. There's no two ways about it. I think there's still a lot that Pepe can give the team. Not only is a dynamite free kick taker, he's got a 92% hit ratio, score ratio on penalties, which is the highest in Europe still. Last season he had 8 goals. Still trying to find his way, in the disappointment of getting that big move for Arsenal. But I still think that he's got a lot to give. So I'm all for it. I know that people are probably saying that he should move on, but there's no money in moving him on. You're just losing money. So I think for something like this, we should put a cap on it and take him back. That's honestly what I would do. Kieran Tierney, Arsenal still are hoping for him to move on, but I'm not a fan of a loan. I'm not a fan of a loan. If you're going to loan someone like that, I mean, say if Tomiyasu gets injured now, you're down to one player at left back, and then you've got Kivior who can support, but then you're really down to the bare bones. So what's the point? There's some players, guys, like Pepe and Tierney, I don't understand why you don't keep them. Especially Tierney, because Tierney's making half of what Pepe's making. So I just don't get it. I know you're freezing the guy out, you're not starting him, you're not playing him, and all that stuff. But there are going to be times when you need those type of players. It's like Smith Rowe. I would have expected to see more of Smith Rowe in the last 2 weeks coming on as a sub. And we ain't seen him. So, and we know he's fit. He played in pre-season, looked good. Played for England under 21s, looked good. So it's not a matter of him being short of fitness. That was the excuse at the back end of last year. That's no longer an excuse now. So I honestly want to see where it's going. So far after 2 games, we do know that there's a rotation at hand. We do know. So we know that things are different from last year because we're starting to see some process. And we know that guys are coming off the bench and starting to get some minutes. So things look better. Because remember, guys, there were some games like Newcastle, Neil at the Emirates, where there was no rotation at all. And there was no subs at all. There was no option in that game. So Arteta's evolving. So I think that we want to see a little bit more as the games go on. I want to see some of these players like Nelson, Vieira, Smith Rowe, Trossard as well, because we didn't see a lot of him in the last game. But I want to see a lot of that happening because these are the players who we've got to provide that massive impact off the bench that's going to tip us over the edge. That's going to give us the extra cream on the top, the extra bite to the end of the game in the last 10 minutes when we're pushing for a goal. So, yeah, that's it from me, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Would you want Pepe back? There's a poll up on the YouTube channel now, so would love to hear your thoughts on that one. And just let me know your thoughts on where you see, do you think we should put in a bed for Cancelo in regards to losing Yuri and Timber? And I'll shout out to you guys in a second, man. Peace out, guys. Love you like cooked food.
I'm tryna be a black king, yeah. I'm tryna be a black king, yeah. MLK, Jay-Z, MJ. I'm tryna be a black king.